Good morning, children. In my previous classes, I had already explained to you about the meaning, characteristics, and the different forms of sovereignty. Now I am going to present to you a brief video on this chapter to give you a better understanding of the chapter. Children, I hope you remember the chapter on the fundamental concept where we had learned about state, government, nation, and nationality. While studying the elements of state, we learned that state comprises of four essential elements. They are population, territory, government, and sovereignty. Sovereignty is considered to be the most exclusive element of the state. It stands accepted as the most essential element because the state alone possesses sovereignty. Sovereignty provides the basis on which the state regulates all aspects of the life of people who live on its territory. Sovereignty means supreme power. It is derived from the Latin word superinus, which means paramount or supreme. Sovereignty is defined as the supreme power of the state over its citizens and subjects unrestrained by law. Sovereignty has two essential dimensions: the internal sovereignty, external sovereignty. Internal sovereignty. As the name suggests, it is understood that all people, group, and association living and working within the territory of the state are bound by laws and authority of the state. Violation of any law is a punishable offense. Coming to external sovereignty, it means complete independence of the state from external control. It also means the equal freedom of the state to participate in the activities of the community of nations and to have its own foreign policy. It stands from the right of each state to have an independent foreign policy designed to secure the goals of its national interest with other states. Now let us discuss the different kinds of sovereignty. First, nominal sovereignty. It is also called titular sovereignty. A titular or nominal sovereign is one in whose name the supreme power or sovereign power of the state is exercised, but he himself does not exercise it. President of India is a nominal sovereign. All powers are exercised in his name by the Union Council of Ministers and its head, the Prime Minister. Number 2, real sovereign. The real sovereign himself exercises his sovereign power. He actually uses the sovereignty of the state, and all citizens are bound by his commands. The US President, as the head of the state, as well as the real executive of the USA, is an example of a real sovereign. Coming to the third, the Zur sovereign. The Zur sovereign is that person or group of persons who has the legal title to the sovereignty of the state. He is duly elected or lawfully constituted holder of authority in the state and has the constitutional legal right to run the state administration and command the people. Being a lawful ruler, he holds the sovereign power by virtue of law, and all the people are legally bound to obey his commands. De facto sovereign. The person or a group of persons who come to wield the authority or power of the state by means other than the lawful means, that is, by a revolution or a coup, is known as the de facto sovereign. By virtue of his ability to exercise power, he begins commanding the people, even though the title to his authority is not legal. This happens when a change or ruler comes through a revolt or coup, in which a new ruler comes to forcibly replace the duly elected, appointed, working lawful ruler. Hitler is an example of de facto sovereign. Legal sovereignty. Legal sovereign is one who has got the supreme power to make laws, that is, to issue legal commands which are binding upon the people. He possesses the supreme power of lawmaking. It can be said that the parliament of the state is the legal sovereign. Political sovereignty. Political sovereign is always behind the legal sovereign. The political sovereign is not known. It is also not really organized and is in itself incapable of expressing the will of the state. Yet, it is present behind the legal sovereign, and the latter acts under the influence of the political sovereign. Popular sovereignty. Popular sovereignty means sovereignty of the people. In other words, people are the source of all authority in the state. The supreme power lies in the hands of the state. The people means electorate, that is, adults who are qualified to cast their votes at general elections in a democratic country are, for example, the popular sovereigns. Popular sovereignty prevails in USA, UK, India, and other democratic countries. The people can keep vigilance over the activities of the government and express their analysis through political parties, pressure groups, press and media, and other platforms of public opinion. They can remove a bad government by the force of public opinion and with one vote. Thus, we may conclude that sovereignty is absolute, permanent, inalienable, indivisible, exclusive, and all comprehensive. In the absence of all these elements, it is impossible to conceive the nature of sovereignty with two foreign executives. Their absolute powers on the same subject is unimaginable. Thank you, children.